Hello, I am Rasmitadila from Universitas Juanda, Indonesia. I'm going to present my research. The title is Inclusive Elementary School Expectation University Engagement, Inclusive Education Practices in Indonesia. This is the background why we do the research. First, the involvement of universities in inclusive education, especially in inclusive elementary school, has not been maximized. Second, the problem that occur in inclusive school have only been resolved by the school. Third, there is a gap between the material presented in university classes and the reality in inclusive elementary schools. So this is the background why we do the research. So some problems happen in the inclusive elementary school that they don't know how to solve this problem. So we think it's need to university make collaboration or a cooperation together with elementary school, so two parties can solve the problem in inclusive elementary school. We use methodology for this research. The purpose in this research is to explore the opinion of general teacher expectation regarding university involvement in inclusive education in Indonesia. We choose 40 inclusive elementary school general teachers or GT from school designed as inclusive elementary school and general elementary school that accept special needs students. And we do the data collection with semi-structured interviews with open-ended question. Interview were conducted online using the Zoom application and recording the content of the interview. After that, the researcher make a transcript all the interview content according to the contents of the interview as verbatim. After we collected the data, we analyze the data with the thematic analysis technique to explore the opinion of the GTs. And we have 3 stages for the data analysis process. For the first stage, we make codes or keyword representing participant statement are made so they do not overlap. And the second stage, we do a categorization of the codes that we made previously, use NVivo application. And the third stage, we found the major of theme. So from the analysis the data, we have 3 major themes. First theme is inclusive school mentoring, and the second major relevant to inclusive education, and the third theme is understanding of student in an inclusive classroom. For the inclusive school mentoring, the result is or the explanation about the first theme. Assistance for school inclusive according to the GT needs to be done by universities. Kind of assistance such as human resource development, improve instruction in inclusive classroom, and understanding of inclusive education. So the mentoring program is important to do between university to the inclusive elementary school, because the elementary school, particular the GT, hope that the problem that they always face in their classroom can solve together with the university in a mentoring program. And the second major relevant to inclusive education is related to the major that relevant to inclusive education in university, and such as special education that are dominant with teachers' understanding of the characteristics of a special needs student, creating individual learning program IEP, or identifying and assessing students are competencies that GTs must process. So In the elementary school teacher program, there is a subject for the inclusive education material. So this is very important to every GT knows about this subject. So so they can implement all the material or subject, especially inclusive education, to elementary school teacher when they graduate and then teach in the inclusive elementary school. But such as special education, that lecturer can include the topic in that subject, just like teachers' understanding of characteristic of special need, and then creating individual learning program. That main problem for most the teacher, especially in the inclusive school, how to make or creating individual learning program, and then make identifying and assessing student also problem with the teacher, how to know about the characteristic of special need student. And the third, understanding of student in an inclusive classroom. University must give the program to the teachers in order to understand of the characteristic and services of special needs student intensively and continuously. So from this result, university can make a program intensively and continuously, because as long as in this time that the teacher, there is no real program from the government that they can make a program intensively or continuously, just limitation in the, maybe limitation in the time, or maybe in the program from the government. So most of the teacher don't know what is the inclusive education is, and the main problem that I said before, that they don't know how to understand about the characteristic and services to special needs student, because there is no program intensively and continuously from the government. So this is one of the main problem that teacher face in the inclusive school. From this result, we have a conclusion. The hope of inclusive elementary school for university involvement in inclusive education in Indonesia can be done in the form of a scheduled mentoring program and conduct it continuously. This is very important program, just like a mentoring program, and the university can do it or conduct it in intensively or continuously, that I explained before. And the inclusive elementary school hope that with the engagement of or involvement from university, that they can meet and solve the problem that they always face in the inclusive school. And from this condition, university must meet the need of elementary school teacher graduate, because they will teach inclusive classes based on the problem faced by GT so far, including in academic and non-academic aspect. And all decision makers at the university must be able to make and establish rules according to input and the needs of inclusive education practices. So this is the conclusion from our research. We hope that our research can give a positive or good impact for the educational practice. And yeah, thank you and goodbye.